I can't hear you for some reason.
Welcome back to the content desk. What's up, everybody? The things we will do to be relevant, right? I got these things. Braden, what's up, dude? Hey, guys, we have so much happening today. I've got Apple Vision Pros, and that is only the second coolest thing about today's show. The coolest thing about today's intro is that we have Braden. Let's go.
Let's
You're up
go.
on screen, bro. What's up, dude?
Oh, am I really? Let's go.
Look at this. Braden's with us. We can see him now. I put him in. Braden, what do am I thinking of my headset?
You know, you look very futuristic today. I'm
Yes.
digging the look.
Right? Guys, you want to know the funniest part about this whole thing is that my wife has no idea I got these. And so she is going to find out that I got these on the show by watching the show. Hi, babe. I love you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Content Desk. It is amazing. These are actually really cool. These are the Apple Vision Pros. They're the first version. And it is amazing what we will do for identity and status. Now, I can see you. I can see you, Braden. I can see the camera. I can look at it. But I look like a big nerd. But here's the deal. Do you see the Cybertruck behind me?
Oh, yeah.
Same energy, man. Same energy, right? It's like obnoxious, in-your-face technology. And I got these at a steal, mind you. But I got these because when I got the Cybertruck, and I bought the Cybertruck, we're coming up on a year right now, that I bought them because of identity. I bought them because everybody hated it. Everyone was like, oh, the Cybertruck is so ugly. The Cybertruck is going to flop. Who would buy that? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, bro, the smartest, most successful, futuristic, change the world dude built a spaceship that's bulletproof and flopped the entire product market demonstration. But did he? And everybody hated it. Yes, of course, I do. I want the whole world to be like, you drive an ugly truck, because honestly, it's not ugly. It's the coolest thing in the world. The same thing is true, that identity, right? Like outlier, the same thing is true with these. So the other night, I was reading up about these things because I saw an article that these things came out. And we got lots to talk about today, by the way. Actually, we don't actually have lots to talk about. We have one and a half topics to talk about and go very deep on, because there's a trend that we have to catch. But back to my story about these things is I saw the other day an article that the new ones had come out, right? They were doing some update with them, right? And have you ever tried these on, Braden?
Never.
Have you ever tried one?
I wanted to,
They're
though.
actually-
They look very
pretty
cool.
insane. When you come out in, you're coming out in like a month, not even for the event
Yeah,
that we do.
pretty
Anyway, you can try them on. Anyway, so I saw this thing and people were hating on him and they're like, oh, this thing flopped and yada yada. And it was this big, huge waste. And I'm like, kind of same energy as the Cybertruck, right? And so then being me, I'm like, I bet you there's a bunch of people that bought these, love them, and they're super niche. And so I went on YouTube and I found some videos of some people that use these for that got like 1,000 views on the video. And I watched those and people were saying on like these Reddit threads, coolest technology ever. I'm like, okay, hold on. The Cybertruck exists. Just chill. Okay. But coolest technology ever, all that. And so then I went on and it was like, I'm not spending $3,500 on these. And so I found a guy that had it. And he said he hadn't worn his in 2 years. And he was going to get rid of it for like $1,500. And I was like, yes, that is what I want. Welcome back to the show. I'll let you know how these go. It's pretty sick. I can do Zoom meetings on them. We've got lots to talk about today. With that, Braden, let's go and do headlines. Braden, let's do headlines. All right, first headline. I'm going to pull you off the screen for a second. We can still hear you. First headline of the day is that these are crazy stats. Snapchat just announced that they hit their Snapchat Plus platform crossed 25 million subscribers, pushing Snapchat's entire direct revenue business, their subscription plus in-app, to $1 billion in ARR in under 3 years since launch in late 2022. That is the fastest growing consumer subscription service on the planet inside of a free social app with 474 million daily active users. Now, Braden, the thesis or the theme of today's show is about the change and the shift towards, the continued shift towards the creator subscription model economy, like content as like distribution and subscription, a mass distribution model, and how it's blowing up. Here's the deal. I have a 2-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old daughter, and my wife was really sick last night, and I was up and got like 3 hours of sleep and had to teach a workshop today for 4 hours, and so I'm stumbling over my words. And I'm watching Braden right now. Chug, was that an energy drink? Is that what you just did to me?
This is kombucha. Not quite an energy drink.
Okay, that sounds gross. I've
A
never
little
tried
more
anything like
hippie.
that. Where's my, huh?
More hippie than an energy drink. Oh, and you got your Dr. Pepper. Nice.
I got
Let's
my
go.
Dr. Pepper. Listen, I just needed
Classic.
it. So why though, Braden? Why are we talking about the shift towards the subscription economy?
That's a fantastic question. Well, from what I'm gathering is it's blowing up and it's huge right now. It's a habit that people are subscribing to. Almost everything seems like it's a subscription these days. So it's all over the place.
And I hate it, but yet I still sign up for it, right? It's kind of crazy. You're right. It is. Ready for this? Here's the next headlines to prove your point. YouTube, headline number 2, YouTube crosses $60 billion. $60 billion in total revenue in 2025 between their ads, premium, and music and TV subs, beating Netflix, $45 billion. Like, I'm sorry, what? Since when did YouTube not just beat Netflix's revenue? It beat it by a whopping $15 billion. Now, listen, I'm not a huge fan of Netflix, although they do have some good shows here and there, but I love YouTube. And you love YouTube. I know you do, right? Do you pay for YouTube Red?
No, I don't.
Okay, wow.
I know. It's
The
gonna sound
company
wild.
will pay you.
Okay,
The
I pay for like Spotify. That's more my generation, and I guess YouTube is my generation too. I just do not pay for it.
Do you know how much time is wasted on ads? Dude, for those listening right now, I would love to know your feedback. For those of you that have YouTube, Red, or YouTube, it's not called Red anymore. It's called YouTube Premium, I think, which was kind of a downgraded name, I think, from a branding perspective, but whatever. Versus those of you that don't. It's a completely different experience. And I'm curious, actually, before we even go into other headlines, Braden, I want to get to know you a little bit here. What's your reasoning? Why don't you pay for YouTube Red?
Honestly, I
value
don't.
your time?
I do value my time. I don't use YouTube enough. So my
Interesting.
content consumption comes from like courses. It comes from I don't know. I use Spotify a lot more for podcasts. That's what I use. So I don't use YouTube enough to justify it.
You don't. Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
I'm.
Yeah.
It is kind of nuts, actually, for your with the demographic. I would not expect that. I do it because I want to save time of watching ads. I hate ads. I hate ads. Part of the reason we started the content desk is so that we could target people like me and you and the listeners. If you're a listener right now and you hate ads, you have ad blockers. You pay for the subscription service to block all of the ads. We literally pay to not be advertised to because we are the advertisers of the world, and also we pay for convenience. And that is kind of an underlying theme of where I think the opportunity of today lies. Because what we're going to get into today is how the shift of wealth and the wealth gap widening is driving the push towards the subscription model economy. Whether that's good or bad, we will discuss, or kind of our thoughts on that, as well as what are potential outcomes of that, and also where there is opportunity. Because I'm very focused right now, as you know, Braden, on where is opportunity and where can deals be done. So much so that we might change the name of the show like a week into it, and just call it something completely different. Call it the deal desk instead of content desk, because I like deals so much and I want to know where opportunity is. Because I do, like, right now, it's like, doesn't it feel like kind of like, Braden, that you either hit a gold mine opportunity or it's nothing, right? Like, it's like so hard to make any form of money, so hard to get anything to go right. But when you do, it's like a massive opportunity.
Yeah, much more testing is needed, it seems like nowadays. Like the past frameworks aren't working as well because the market is shifting so much. So lots of testing.
Yeah, lots of testing. Yeah, of course, you're a marketer and you run all over marketing. I'm very glad that's your approach to it. I just look for
Yeah.
like what's my asymmetrical billion-dollar opportunity. Okay, can you tell I'm tired today? Got like 3 hours of sleep. All right, next headline to go right along with this is that not only did YouTube beat Netflix, New York Times is proving that you can be an absolute woke piece of garbage and still make money. The New York Times added 1.4 million digital subscribers in 2025. The digital subscriber revenue was up 13.9% year over year to $381 million in Q4 alone. New publishers overall see an average or a median of 35% digital subscriber growth, even as traffic shrinks. Now, that last part there is super interesting. Even as traffic shrinks. What does that tell us? Well, I think this is interesting because when you, like, Braden, when you think back 2 years ago, did you consume on more platforms or less platforms 2 years ago than you do now?
Way less.
Really?
Way less. Yeah.
Less. I
Yeah.
would say that I actually consumed on way more, but for less time. And I think
Mm.
that is where you're like an oddball, dude. I love it. I love
I
it.
know.
This is why you
Yeah.
work for
Now
me.
I have more variety now than I did back then.
I like it. A trendsetter, or go against the grain. But I would be on, at one point, I mean, 2 years ago, I was on every platform, dude. It was Facebook, and it was Instagram, and it was Twitter, and it was YouTube, and it's, I never went on LinkedIn, but that's a whole different ball. Snapchat, I was on Snapchat, every platform, right? Constantly had to be in the know. And now, if you were to look at my screen time, it's kind of funny. There's like 3 apps where
Mm.
I'm at. So I consume way less volume of app and way more time on said apps. And so I think that is where you're having, like, this data would reflect that, because traffic is shrinking, meaning I, as a user, you as a user, you're spending time on 3 platforms now, or 4 platforms now, or, a person is, where they used to be spending it on 7 or 12, but because they're only spending it on 3 and they're spending it so much more on that time deeper on those platforms, now they're willing to pay because they want a better experience on those platforms. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So, final headline for today that I think has some merit to this is, or that kind of help shape this narrative here and close it out, is that the creator monetization platform market in 2025, so last year, was 11.57 billion, so about $11.5 billion.
Hmm.
As of right now, for 2026, we're looking at about just shy of 14 billion. So that's up $2.5 billion, or about 20.5%, about 20% so far this year. So this is proving that we are headed to a subscription model plus AI personalization. And there's a lot of AI layers that, or a lot of where AI fits in and to create layers in the subscription economy. And so as I sat down to do research today, because I do. By the way, guys, if you ever want to, if you ever want to like learn stuff, start a show. Holy cow. The amount of stuff that I'm learning about the market and the opportunities and where things are shifting. I'm like, I already feel like I'm way more educated about the world today and like equipped to think about the world accurately, or at least our market accurately, than I was on Monday, which is part of the goal of the content desk. So that's a good thing. But as I've sat down and I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, where is there opportunity? And if we can look at where the world is trending, if we can see where things are going, then we can position ourselves in such a way to capitalize. Now, I would like to focus on the creator economy narrative, the subscription with distribution narrative for just a second, okay? As the world changes quickly, I think that the middle class, Braden, like we're seeing macro, micro, like all levels of the economy in the world today are kind of like intersecting, and we're seeing like patterns throughout. And it's very interesting because the middle class of America is shrinking. And we've all heard like the statement of like, you will own nothing and be happy, right? Now, I think that is I think that's already here, and like that's not coming, we're already living it. But you see the sovereign debt crisis that's happening right now, like on a big macro level, which we'll talk about tomorrow when we talk about, tomorrow's about Bitcoin. It's my favorite topic of all time outside of Jesus and Bitcoin. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But we have a sovereign debt crisis that we're in. We have macroeconomics that are, potentially long-term, like our foreign policy is, I'm hopeful with what Trump is doing, but short-term pain, right? We have the economy that sucks. Like, listen, I voted for Trump. I'm glad that he's in office and all that. But like this whole like gaslighting of like that we're in this golden age economy. It's like, all right, bro, like chill out a little bit. Okay. It's terrible. And so you have the middle market of America that is struggling. And so you see these people, you see this shift of, if I don't have money to spend, like large amounts of money to spend, I'm already used to making payments. I'm already used to financing stuff. So I'm going to go and I'm going to pay for a better experience of things, of where I'm going to spend my time anyway. And I think that is one of the primary drivers of the shift in the subscription model, and the blowing up of the subscription model. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, does it make sense? Are you following my train of thought here?
It makes sense to me.
Okay. So I went and pulled some numbers. I was like, all right, is there actual data to back up my thesis of, or my, dude, I'm tired. What's the word I'm looking for? My thought process? My
hypothesis.
Hypothesis. Thank you very much.
Yep.
My
You're welcome.
hypothesis on this. And turns out there is. Ready for this?
Yep. Let's see it.
The middle class is evaporating. According to Brookings Institution, 33% of U.S. middle class families, defined as the middle 60% of earners, so that's $30,000 on the low end to $150,000 nationally, adjusted locally. So this is not average, it's median, okay? Cannot afford basic necessities: food, housing, childcare, transportation, and healthcare. That is insane. 30%. That's 33%. That's one out of every three people in that fall into that category.
Is that just in
They,
America? Is that what it says?
yeah, U.S. middle class families. Okay,
Okay.
across 160 metro areas that they looked at least 20% struggle, and they peak like on the low end was 20%, and in some metro areas the peaks were as much as 57% of people in some of the metro areas were struggling to cover basic necessities. Now,
Wow.
that is a like that's crazy. I did not realize that it was that bad, and it's growing significantly over the past several years. But what is even more crazy when we talk about this gap that's happening, and this is where we get into kind of the middle economy shrinking, is the top 1% of people in America, okay, hold 32% of all the wealth. Now that sounds like a lot. That it's a pretty shocking number, right? But I'm like, I wasn't too surprised by that. I mean, Elon Musk alone, he's the GOAT, by the way. Like, can we just talk about how we get to live in the same time as Elon? And like, basically, it's like, if I could pick any time to ever live, it would be now, just because that's when God had me. And of course, he was perfect. Air conditioning exists. Apple Vision Pros exist. Cybertrucks exist. God knew that this was the time for me, okay? And for you, I'm sure, as well. But Jesus would be the only other person who I'd be like, it'd be really cool to have like seen Jesus. But even the Bible says, hey, it's better, you're more powerful, you can do greater things when Jesus isn't here with just the power of the Holy Spirit. So we're going to settle for Elon, okay? Elon's got 850 billion, I think is what he's at now.
Yeah, absolutely
What's
wild.
what's
Dude, this is a
Elon
rabbit hole you
Musk's?
could go so deep down. You love
We
talking about Elon.
oh, I do.
Let me
I
see his
do. I
net
do.
worth right now.
Okay, ready? In billions. Elon's net worth in billions. Approximately 850 to 852 billion. He's going to be a trillionaire by the end of this year. That's so nuts.
And I heard so the second most wealthy person, I think that's Larry Page right now, the Google founder, I'm pretty sure. And he has to 3x his net worth in order to get, and he still wouldn't be as much as Elon. So Larry Page is actually closer to my net worth than Elon's right now, which is crazy to think about. The second dude.
That is so insane. That's
Yeah.
such a crazy stat. Yeah, 268 billion ish is what Larry Page is worth. Elon's 850 billion. So if Larry Page tripled his net worth, he
Still
would.
still like 100
That's
billion less
great.
than Elon.
Yeah, still 100 billion less than Elon. If guys, go back to the headline from earlier today. This is wild. How much money is out there? How much opportunity is out there right now? Well, if if Snapchat, which is the fastest growing, this is so crazy, the fastest growing consumer or direct revenue business, the fastest growing consumer subscription service on the planet, doing a billion ARR. If they did that for 800 years, Elon would still be $50 billion richer. That's insane. So, anyway, the top 1% own about 32% of the wealth. But here's where it gets nuts, okay? The bottom 50% of citizens in the US today make up just, where was it? Where's my, oh, wrong tab. The bottom 50% make up just 2.5% of the wealth. 50% own 2.5%. 1% owns 32%, which means that the remaining 49% owns 28%. No, owns, owns gosh, I should have had those numbers done. 150, yeah, 49% owns. They did 2% of the wealth. What's that? I'm tired, Braden. Come on.
My
32,
brain turns
35,
off when you start saying
65%.
numbers.
65% of the wealth. Okay?
Okay, there you go.
65% of the wealth lives in the 49% of Americans, the middle class. So the middle class is shrinking, and the wealth is going this way. And the push towards, hey, I don't have money, I've got debt, I'm used to payments, let me finance it. Creators have essentially said, and creator platforms have essentially said, hey, look, we're going to shift our model that way. Now, this is not a new trend, but it is an accelerating trend, because not only is Snap the fastest growing consumer subscription model in history, they are now also launching another subscription model on top of that. And this subscription model is with creators. So they're saying, they announced this yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. That creator subscriptions, where creators will be able to set a price between $4.99 a month and $19.99 a month, $19.99 per month tiers for exclusive stories, direct photos and videos, priority replies, etc. Creators get to keep 60% roughly after fees. Snap gives performance data to optimize pricing. CEO Evan Spiegel said, in the year ahead, growth in subscribers will be a critical input metric to track our progress. This is Snap admitting that ads alone won't cut it. Predictable, recurring revenue is the new North Star. Whoa. That's crazy. Okay? This lines up perfectly, though, with the debt crisis, with when everything's financed, it's all about payments. When you have these revenue giants that have these people's attention, the best way to monetize on it, if you're having less platforms overall, but more time with it, is they're going to make more money simply by just charging them a subscription rather than going and paying for ads or charging per ad. If I, as a consumer, have a choice between watching ads and consuming something for free, or paying a $10 or $15 or $20 a month subscription and getting no ads, or paying a $15 or $20 a month subscription, no ads, and it being a better model, a better experience, I'm going to choose to pay the flat amount every time. I think that that's where this is going, and the data points to that. And this is something to really be aware of, because if we look into the future and we go, okay, this is what's happening, where's our opportunity? Where do we make deals? How do we make money with this? You go, is there a future, or is there anything in the near future that would signal that there is change? Has debt increased in America or decreased in the last decade?
Massive increase. Massive.
Massive
Like,
increase. Right?
do you have the chart where it shows the increase? It's insane.
I have to fix, we have a slight technical glitch to where I can't share my screen without it like tweaking out on the streaming thing. So we will have it fixed either tomorrow or Monday, but I bet you we could pull it up. Credit card, debt, numbers in US by year. Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you see this number? Are you looking at the? No way. No way. Total U.S. household debt reached a record of $18.88 trillion at the end of 2025.
Ooh.
18.8 trillion? That's with credit card debt with the average credit card debt around $5,595. So, we're not trending away from this. We're trending more and more towards payments and more towards, hey, I want to have access to something. I'm going to pay for an experience. I want to cancel it. I'm not going to own it. I can't afford to own it. You see this with leases. You see this with renting, which I'm a huge fan of renting anyway. If we are going to be positioned in the world today, we need to understand this trend, and we need to like study it, because there's massive, massive opportunity. What does that look like for us? Well, my point, actually, before we go into what it looks like for us, I think the big takeaway from this is that, first off, how cool is it that we have access to all this data? Secondly, is if you've got kids, I've got a 2-year-old daughter named Willow and a 6-month-old daughter named Isla. They are gorgeous. And when I think about the future that they're going to live in, I go, man, I wonder what that's going to look like, because it's trending towards crazy. And then you can look at this data and you can go, okay, this is where it's going. Now we can philosophize, yeah, and theorize and philosophize. I don't even think that's a word. Maybe it is, about the future and create our speculations. And we can wish that it wasn't a certain way, or we can simply say, okay, this is where things are going, and how do I put myself in the best position to be able to capitalize and win? The subscription model with distribution is, with mass distribution play, is where things are going. So that's what's up. That's the current state of the markets today and for today's show. So the next section that we go into, or the next segment of the show that we go into is, okay, great. If that's what's happening, then what does that mean for us? Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? And what shifts are being made right now? When AI first came out, Braden, you ever feel like when stuff moves really, really fast, that almost always the answer is to do the opposite and go really slow, or basically do the opposite of what everybody else does?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
And then
a
do you find
majority of the time, just go the opposite direction.
um, and then,
Not in morality though. Not in morality. That's where I'll have the
yeah, but since
caveat.
when has morality been a trend, bro? Like, oh, let's go be moral.
Great point. Yeah.
I mean, oh gosh, Mac OS capture. We have two of them on. Hold on. Say something, Braden. We got to make sure we don't have technical difficulties here.
Test, test, test.
Oh, wait. Okay, say one more. One more.
Test, test.
Yeah, hopefully that wasn't too bad. All right. So we have morality's never been a trend, bro. Like we fell. We're not in perfection. So we definitely should go against the grain of morality, because where morality is going is typically a decrease. Unless, of course, you have the Crusades of the Catholics where they're like, hey, we should definitely go and force everybody to be moral and follow Christ. And if we don't, we're going to kill them. That's such a crazy narrative. I got to study that more, because there's got to be more to that story. I'm sure there is. Anyway, we're getting off track. So we know that when everybody goes one way, we should go the other. But I have found myself more often than not doing that. And I have to be really intentional with doing it. And so when AI first came out, my original thought was, oh my gosh, we're all going to die. Like, AI first came out with ChatGPT, and I was like, this is awesome. And then I ignored it for a little bit. And then I studied where this could potentially go. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to take over the world. And there's really a really high potential that this ends badly. And we're going to need high universal basic income and all of that. And I was worried about my market specifically, or this online service provider market specifically, because I was like, man, a lot of us do advertising, a lot of us do client acquisition, a lot of us do, helping business owners with, getting clients or business related services, or we have businesses that we hire and need marketing related things. And I'm like, man, if AI is going to come in and disrupt all of this, then our services are not going to be needed. Now, thankfully, I read the Bible, and in the Bible, it says that Jesus does come back and AI does not kill us all. That's not what it says. So that's good. So I found assurance in that, actually, for real. But as I started watching the trends of AI more and more and more, I went, maybe I have this wrong. Maybe as we see all of these shifts happening, maybe the stuff that we thought, or that I thought, the money and the opportunity was going to pull away from, meaning AI was going to disrupt and take away the opportunity and money from that area, maybe actually that's where all the money and opportunity is going to go, specifically in the area of marketing and distribution. Because if you think about it, what industries are going to, or what types of things are going to be replaced by or automated from AI first? Well, it's like basically anything that is hard. Like if it's hard for a human to do, it's probably really easy for a AI to do from like a knowledge standpoint, a thinking standpoint, right? And if it's easy for a human to do, like, relatively easy for us to build houses or, use hammers or like go out and use our hands. I'm not saying it's easy work. I just mean like doesn't take a rocket science to be able to, do that, right? It's going to be much more difficult for AI to do because it's bound by computers, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, you have software, you have that's been completely commoditized, right? The barrier to entry of software used to be huge amounts of money and tons of talent and a lot of time necessary to go build a working software. Now, dude, like you and I could sit down in like 2 or 3 days over the weekend. We could have a pretty insanely well working software that's like cost us basically nothing. Right?
Yeah, and I know people who are creating software in hours. It's gotten so good.
I mean, it's probably not that good a software, but it's working, and that was not a thing before. So
Yeah,
software has been commoditized.
Vibe coding is crazy.
Vibe coding is crazy, and that's going very quickly. Okay, so there's that. You have image generation, right? You have writing, content, things like that. And it's like, okay, well, all those things are getting disrupted, which means that if you go and look at how much money these companies, big corporations, and even small companies were putting towards research and development, right? They had huge budgets allocated towards like software development, towards coders, towards, right, these things that used to require millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions, or in some cases, billions of dollars, okay? That now they no longer need to allocate those resources to, or they're gonna at least think twice about it, right? So if they go and let's say I'm a company and I've got, I don't know, let's say I'm a $100 million company, which is not that big of a company in the grand scheme of things, right? Maybe I'm a software company of some sort and I service the online economy. I don't know what Beehive's revenue is, but something like that. Or Substack, they just did $100 million worth of, $100 million round. If I got $100 million and I used to allocate 50 million or 70 million of that to, research and development, to coding, to product and all of that. And now I'm like, well, it's kind of been commoditized. It's not about having a great product anymore. It's literally about, can I get my product in front of people first? Can I get people that will actually pay me money for it instead of go building their own? Then I'm going to shift my budget from research and development, and I'm going to shift a lot of it over to what? Brand, to marketing, and to distribution. On Tuesday's episode, we talked about this in Substack, yesterday's. Gosh, man, can't believe it was only yesterday's. Yesterday's, we talked about how Substack got that $100 million funding round, and a majority of that, the number one thing that it was to be used for was distribution and discovery tools, marketing and distribution, getting people to be able to find content. And so if you look at the creator economy and you look at the subscription model with distribution blowing up, and then you look at where the opportunity is or where people are putting their budget now that AI has disrupted the coding and the images and the writing industry, those are kind of converging, it seems. And so you have a market where it is becoming increasingly more difficult to sell high-priced items unless you're selling to the ultra wealthy. But if you're going to the masses, if you're going to middle America, right, it is becoming increasingly difficult to go and sell high-priced items, basically not impossible, but super difficult without financing, right? And it's becoming easier and easier to get people to pay for a subscription. On top of that, if you want a subscription to work, you need lots of subscriptions to be able to make up for one sale that you could have made at a high ticket price point. So let's say beforehand, you would make $3,000 on a product, and now you make $20 a month on a subscription. Well, it's like you're going to need 100 of those buyers in order to make up for the $3,000 product, one sale. So the volume that is necessary when you have low ticket subscriptions is exponentially greater than if you have a higher tier product. Why am I saying this? Well, think about where the marketing budget is going. If everybody now is competing for more of the market, and not only is everybody now competing for more of the market, but they have way bigger budgets to go and put towards acquiring that. Does that mean that it's going to become more expensive or less expensive to go and acquire customers?
More expensive, more noise.
Oh, way more. Oh, way more. It makes me think of what Alex Hormozy was talking about when he was talking about AI and brand. And he's like, in a world of AI, people are going to want to know what truth is, and people are going to want to trust things. And it's like brand will become exponentially more valuable. Like if you have people's attention, even small niche audiences will become so valuable because these companies will have these major budgets to be able to spend to just get in front of the right people. There's an opportunity there. And if for those of us right now that are trying to get ahead, for those of us that are like, okay, where's my play? How do I go and make money? How do I get paid and be free? How do I go and go to the next level? One of the things that changed my life was learning how to study money and then going and studying money and how it moves, how markets moved. A mentor of mine, Brad, taught me this. He's like, dude, it's not really that difficult to make money. You just have to understand how money moves and where money's located. And I was like, what do you mean by that, Brad? And he told me the story, he told me these stats that blew my mind. And he goes, let me ask you something. Does it feel right now that nobody has any money to spend? This was like 3 years ago, maybe, probably at this point. And I'm like, I mean, it seems like, yeah, more and more people are hesitant to spend and, you know, like money's tight, the economy's changing. He said at the time, there was roughly like, I think it was like 10 trillion or 11 trillion dollars worth of capital sitting on the sidelines looking for investments that met criteria to be invested in. And his point was that it is never a lack of capital. It is always a lack of, for investors, finding good opportunity. Because if you have a really good opportunity, something that's actually going to work, there will always be someone with money that is willing to put money behind it. That same thing is going to be true when it comes to attention of people's attention, advertising, content distribution. If we're seeing a shift towards subscriptions, which we are, and people's attention is on less platforms, but at a much deeper level, and they're willing to pay to go deeper on that, then advertisers and companies and corporations will start to pay bigger and bigger and bigger dollars to get in front of those people. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who's going to get slaughtered? People that are not building audiences right now, or people that have an audience that they're neglecting right now, or people that are investing in things where they're betting on not needing an audience, they're going to get slaughtered. People that are selling services that are in the software development space, opportunity is going to go away. People that are selling writers are going to, like, anything that's not being, well, I guess writers you could use for, to acquire customers. But like people that are not recognizing the trend of saying, wait a second, I need attention. Attention will continue to become more and more valuable in the economy that we're headed to. So if I'm a business owner right now, what am I focused on? If you run a business and your primary service is not marketing or helping other businesses get and acquire customers or attention, you should be putting a significant amount of time, money, and attention into figuring out how you will capture and maintain and deepen, or capture and maintain attention of your avatar, attention of your clients, and deepen the relationship with them. To the point where the old model of higher tiered services is shifting. And if you don't have some form of lower tiered access where someone can come into your world and go deeper, then you're going to lose that attention to somebody else that does. If you are a service provider, you are somebody with a skill set or expertise, whether that is with coding or marketing or writing or funnel building or graphic design or you name it. You have a skill set where you're like, I service these businesses, right? I'm not trying to go build a massive company right now. I just want to make the most amount of money possible. Where's the trend and opportunities? Here's what I learned by studying money with Brad and or how money moved based on what Brad told me and in testing it myself. Go where the money is going because people with money own assets. And so if people are investing into assets, if people are deploying capital into assets because they're betting on them becoming more valuable over time, then be the person that helps them build those assets, acquire those assets, maintain those assets, those types of things. What does that mean in the creator economy? Well, you've got, like, I'm imagining you're 21, a 21-year-old right now. No, I'm imagining an 18-year-old right now or a 19-year-old right now, okay? And they're thinking about whether or not they should go to college. Maybe they've applied, right? And they're like, do I think the college or the system is working for me? And they go, no, definitely not. It's definitely screwed against me. And so what are they going to do? Do you think that they're going to be super motivated and driven by the fact that the government is stealing from their future? It is driving inflation through the roof, that every time that they save money, that the buying power decreases, that they're going to sit there and go, yes, I would like to be part of this economy. Yes, I would like to go and follow the plan that everything was laid out before. I'm going to try really hard, right? I'm going to go take on some debt. I'm going to go and be an upstanding citizen. Do you think that's what they're saying to themselves right now? No, why would they even try? Why would they try? What incentive does an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old or a 21-year-old have to go try really, really hard in today's world if it's not working for them? Right? Like, listen, I'm a big believer in capitalism, a big believer in capitalism. I think we need a shift in the way that it is done. I think that there is an economic model that exists that allows us to fix it at its root. But the single problem with capitalism right now is that the younger generation feels like capitalism is not working for them because it's not. They do not have skin in the game. And so if you don't have skin in the game, if you're watching the richest, laziest, most entitled generation to walk the planet, the freaking boomers, man. Like these baby, oh, we can't lower housing prices because Trump. Oh, we can't do the housing prices because like then that's where people have their retirement and stuff. I'm like, you literally bought your house for $15,000 and it is now worth 1.2 million. You can shut the actual heck up. You stole from my generation. You stole from the younger generation. You stole from the generation that is younger than you, and you set them up for failure. In the bill that passed, in the one big beautiful bill, the $40 billion that was supposed to be allocated to help the younger generation get access to investment accounts and things, that was cut. But you know what wasn't cut? The $120 billion, I think it was $120 billion, for Medicaid and Social Security to fund the wealthiest generation on the face of the planet, right? Like they're stealing from our generation to fund their cushy lifestyles while sending us into a sovereign debt crisis. Can you tell I'm passionate about this subject?
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
So you have the economy is not working for the 19-year-olds and the 25-year-olds, and even the third. I'm 32. I just turned 32. And I've been very blessed. Had some good breaks. I worked hard, all of that. I got a good head on my shoulders. I grew up with parents that were together, that stayed together. I had good morals and values. I didn't come from money, but like I had a good hand dealt to me. And I'm like, I've done all right. And even I feel the pressure of it. I'm like, man, it is hard out there. If you don't have any money in this economy, or if you don't have any reason to think that this economy is working for you, that capitalism is working for you, you would say, F it, burn it all down. Who cares? It's not working anyway, right? So I know that sounded like a tangent, but I have a point with this. So now go back to the person or the business owner right now who is wanting to be positioned well, to take advantage of where the money's going, to where the investments are going. And they're trying to invest in these assets. And the 19-year-old, the 25-year-old, or the younger generation is being told one thing of like, hey, go and be late or go to college, take the traditional route. They're like, F that. And instead, they can go and they can say, well, where can I make some money? Right? Where is there some opportunity? Because it's either I'm going to go and I'm going to figure out a way to go make some money, or what am I going to do? I'm going to just enjoy my life because the future is going to be worse than today. And so I'm going to just buy some subscriptions. I'm going to play my video games. I'm going to spend less time on 7 or 8 or 12 platforms. I'm going to pick my 3. I'm going to drive for Uber. I'm going to maybe for DoorDash, right? I'm going to wait tables on the side. I'm going to control my schedule, and I'm going to go deep on this, on my favorite content creators, or on whatever my favorite platforms are. That is a major, massively growing market. That is where the trend is going. And they're going to spend money. They're not going to spend $20. They're going to spend 50 and then 100 and then 500. And before you know it, they're going to be spending $1,200 on subscriptions or on platforms to have an experience because they want to enjoy life now because the future is worse. I'm not advocating that this is a good thing. I'm saying this is the reality of the situation. So how do we fix this? Where is their opportunity? This is not where I thought this episode was going, but this is the perfect blend. Because if we can give people, kids, if we can give the young generation, the service provider, the 25-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, our generation and younger, Braden, like you're 25, I'm 32. If we can simultaneously give them a way to get ahead, right? While also giving them the ability to help participate in an economy or in a market in a way that is working for them, to where they would willingly then give up the pleasures or the comfort of their cushy, or not even cushy, they're lazy. I don't want to call us lazy. They're not. They're just, the system's screwed. They're giving up that, and they're willing to go actually put some time and effort into something. Then that's a good thing, because now you're going to have a generation of people that are engaged. You're going to have a whole generation of people now that are taking responsibility for their life and that are incentivized to take responsibility for their life. And you're going to do something, or do it in such a way that they can still be in control. Because Braden, what's the primary reason that you don't want to have a traditional 9-to-5 job?
I would say the lack of autonomy is the biggest reason.
Right. You don't want a boss telling you that you have to be somewhere at 9 and clock out at 5 and how to live your life. You want to be able to have some control over your life. You want to be able to have some autonomy over your life, and you want to make some good money with it. Right now, with the shift of where the economy is going, we have this, there's this opportunity for us service providers out there, people with a skill set, to go and say, let me go find some business owners, some people that are going to treat me as, not as an employee, but as someone, like, they're going to pay me to do work for them, but I still get to kind of take ownership of my life, and I can make good money with it because there's a trend, and I can pour my teeth into something. I can learn a skill, right? And I can take responsibility for my life. I can get married. I can have a couple kids. I can raise a family, and I don't have the world's, the system rigged against me. That opportunity exists with where this shift is going. Now, it might not go there. It's very possible that if we do not engage the service providers, if we do not engage this generation, and we don't show them that there's opportunity there to go and do this, that doesn't happen. But if I were a service provider right now, if I were trying to get ahead right now, if I were like, man, the life just seems stacked against me right now, I'm telling you, there is a major opportunity to go make $200,000 a year, $300,000, heck, $100,000 a year, $75,000 a year, going and learning a skill set where you're helping business owners, these $3 million, $5 million, $7 million, even $10 million businesses, install tools that gain attention, that maintain attention, and that build relationship with their customer and client base. Paid subscription models like Snapchat, Substack, things of that nature. And so that's where I think the opportunity is for both business owners and for this generation, is like just understanding trends. There's so much money. It's mostly debt, but it's like there's so much money out there, fake money. And we'll talk about it tomorrow.
That's for tomorrow. Yeah.
It's for tomorrow. Come back tomorrow if you just want Bitcoin. There's so much opportunity out there, but it will be missed, and it will go to the corrupt corporations at the top or the AI agents. Did you see this? Did you see that an AI agent officially acting autonomously created a crypto wallet and officially acquired, I think it was Bitcoin. Like
I did
that's
see some,
wild, dude.
I saw something about an AI agent like like trying to pay a human to do its work for it. Like this
Yeah,
weird stuff is going on.
I did you see the whole social media or that whole social site for the AI agents?
Is it called Maltbook? I'm pretty sure that's what it
Yeah,
was.
Moltbook. Yeah, it's kind
Yep,
of
I
it's
saw
kind
that.
of fake. It's
It
not
is it?
fake. Well, so what happened was is the guy who created it, like basically you can incentivize or like prompt or guide a lot of the agents to do or act certain ways to where it's like not really natural. So it's like it's not it wasn't a big of a deal as people made it out to be. So basically the story goes like this. For those of you who are like, who what the heck are we talking about? So basically, this was right before I left for vacation. So it would have been like end of January. Okay. There was this social platform that came out, Molt Book. Give me the Molt Book story recap. This guy basically creates a Facebook or a social platform for AI agents so that these AI agents could meet and network with one another and basically talk to one another and all that. Basically think like Facebook. And if you're like, what the heck's an AI agent? Basically think of it as individual AI people or entities or like kind of like babies, right? Like AI identities. Yeah. Okay. And so these AI agents started joining this and started like talking back and forth with one another. And then they created boards and they were writing to one another in a way that the humans could see. And it was like, should we create our own language so that the humans cannot watch us? And then like the next day it was like, the humans are screenshotting our conversations and sharing it on Twitter, right? And then they were like going through and it seemed like they were literally forming a whole separate like language and revolt. And it grew to like, it was a stupid amount, like 1 million of these agents on the platform pretty quick.
Yeah, it's almost
Where
to
was
3 million right now is what it says. It's at
That's
2.8
crazy.
million agents, AI agents, and 12 million comments.
Yeah. And so there was a whole like, oh, is this, a sci-fi movie? This is like Skynet, right? It turns out that that's not, there was more to the story than that. They were, I don't want to say prompted. It was like guided or suggested to go into, because no AI agent's going to be like, the humans are watching us. Like that's not how it works. But anyway, it's a fascinating story. I don't know how we got off track on that. My point with all this today is that if you're like, I run a business. In the last 2 years, we've worked with 103, roughly 103 clients, like a pretty deep level. We have a good relationship with our clients. We, long, ongoing relationships with them and pretty higher tiered. And we have subscription models and stuff too on the back end. And in the last 2 years, working with these service providers, it is obvious that there is change in the market. People are hurting and some people are crushing it. Lots of people are feeling change. And it's like, okay, wait a second. The money didn't just disappear, right? It shifted. AI didn't just magically change everything yet. Like it will, it is disrupting things, but like markets are still moving like markets are moving. And right now where we're at, it can feel like, man, business isn't working anymore. Or like, man, it's hard. Or why is it so hard? Or how does anybody survive in this? And it's like, because we're experiencing a trend. We're experiencing a shift. And old Josh, a much younger version of me, would sit there and go, oh my gosh, this is a terrible thing. Oh my gosh, freak out. Oh my gosh, everything's going to collapse. But a wiser version of Josh, one that has been around some wiser people and had mentors, goes, wait, If there is a shift, then that means I just have to figure out where things are shifting. And the clear and obvious trend right now at both the macroeconomic level, at the microeconomic level, at the individual level, the societal level, even so much from like a generational sentiment level, is that we are seeing a shift towards you will own nothing and be happy. Renting, subscribing, not owning, financing, payments, and the most valuable thing, or the most valuable asset, that's not the word I'm looking for, asset, the most valuable, asset is becoming attention, quality of attention. And it is going to become exponentially more expensive to get people's eyeballs and to keep people's eyeballs, to have high quality eyeballs, which means that is an opportunity for you and I. If you're a business owner, control that attention. It's a large reason of why we started this show. If you are a service provider, or if you want to figure out where to make money, go help the people that need the attention, that are buying and investing and building assets to getting that attention. Go help them do that faster, better, higher quality, and there's plenty of money there to go and be made. All right, that's all for today. I think that's a good place to end the show. Braden, what's one move, one thing that somebody can do right now or in the next 24 hours that would move them forward towards taking action on this? And I want you to think specifically for the business owners, not for the service provider generation, because you work for me and I am that business owner. So you get to see the ins and outs of the business right now. What are you seeing right now that's something that people could implement?
Yeah, I would say a big thing is find an ongoing problem that can be turned into a subscription service in some way that doesn't take all of your time and that is heading towards where the market is going as well. So that's the big move right there is people are wanting their problems being solved over and over again. So if they can pay you every single month and you're able to solve an ongoing problem, then that's massive.
Yeah. Identifying where the ongoing problems are going to lie. Yeah, because then you can essentially borrow. That's good, because you can essentially borrow or use established business or you can essentially use like the psychology, people's ongoing problems for. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to piggyback off of that. If you're a service provider, be the person that identifies that ongoing problem for that business and then offers them this, to help them with the solution. If you don't know what that solution is, guess what? I've got crazy news for you. There's this thing. Imagine like a super duper smart, like supercomputer, like super smart, that you could like ask questions to, and that it could do research and it could give you the answers. It exists. It's this thing called AI, Grok, ChatGPT. Use it. You literally have the smartest, most capable computer technology in the history of humanity that you can ask how to go solve these problems for people. So be the person on your spare time to go and find that problem and go present it to these business owners, partner with them, charge them money for it, and you can change your life in the next 6 to 12 months, 12 to 18 months in a very big way. That's the opportunity. Start getting subscriptions. Start getting people to pay you for their attention, or that give you money and that where you can control their attention for it on an ongoing basis. That's where the opportunity is. With that, that's all for today. Thank you, Braden. Appreciate it. And guys, we'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. It was a good first week of the show at the 5 p.m. slot. We had a lot of fun, learned a lot. Show is changing quickly. Thank you all so much for watching. We're live on YouTube and on X and on Facebook for now. If you're watching on Facebook, go to YouTube or X. Probably X is the preferred one, either one. And go subscribe so you can follow us along there. With that, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you all.